Okay, good afternoon, students. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sangam, thank you. So fine, we'll start up with the webinar. Let me introduce to our mentors first. We have Aditya sir and we have Parth. So
Yeah, sure, unmute if you're
I'm
speaking.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. My voice was breaking a bit. I was having some issue with the mic. So yes. So we have Aditya sir. He's an account manager at Microsoft. He's having an experience of 6+ years. And we have Parth sir with us. He's a senior enterprise sales manager and he's having an experience of 4+ years. So in this meeting, we'll be knowing about SaaS, we'll be knowing about software as a service and how can we build a career in SaaS. Plus, we'll be getting more insights on B2B and plus the current scenario, what's going on in the market and how we can build a career in SaaS and B2B and get a high paying job. Plus, in the end of the session, we'll be having an open discussion where you can shoot your questions to the mentors. You can ask them whatever doubts you're having. And then we'll be getting a clear insight of why we should go for SaaS and B2B. And I'm sure by the end of the session, we'll surely get to learn something very good from our mentors. So, Aditya sir, I would like to hand over the webinar to you, and I would like you to start it.
Sure. Thanks a lot for your introduction, Yash. And I'll co-host this session with my partner in crime, Parth, for today's session. As Yash called out, today's agenda is to sort of take you through how SaaS sales work. The idea would be pretty simple, where we will take you through some of the fundamentals of SaaS sales, how SaaS sales has been growing over the past many decades, and how the future of it looks like. We'll take you through some fundamental of sales as well when it comes to software as a service, and then we'll open up the house for your Q&As. So Parth, how do you want to set this up? Should I share my screen and just start off?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right, cool. Just give me a second, everyone. Let me know once my screen is visible. Is my screen visible? Parth?
Yeah, that's visible. You can go on slideshow.
Okay. It switches the screen when I do it. 1 second. Might have to choose the other screen. Is it working now? Visible now?
Coming up. Yeah, it's working. Go ahead.
All right. Great. Okay, I think the context is already set. Let's just dive into who your mentors are. So, as Yash called out, I am Aditya. I have more than a decade of experience in software as a service sales. Apart from SaaS sales, I also take care of platform as a service and infrastructure as a service sales as well in my current role. And my experience spread across one of the largest OEMs in the world. And I've also been associated with a fintech startup. I was taking care of their North business in my previous avatar. So I've seen both the sides of the world, which is, working with a highly process oriented organization and then dealing the nuances of a typical startup as well. With us, we have Parth. Parth, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm a sales practitioner with more than 10 plus years of experience, like it is written. In my career, I started as a business analyst, but I always wanted to do sales. So I have got the opportunity in these last 10 years to work in all the facets of sales, mostly in SaaS companies like Adobe, Oracle. These are leading multinationals in the world. I've also got the opportunity to work with startups like Practo or Markets and Markets. So while Aditya would be taking you through the building stones or the stepstones of what SaaS is all about, I'll be helping you deep dive into the methodologies and how you would be able to crack the interviews. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, thanks, Parth. So, to the audience on the call, the reason why we wanted to introduce yourself is we wanted to give you an assurance that you would be in good hands. Both Parth and myself come with a healthy blend of experience across startups as well as large OEMs. So, we will take you through the nuances of both sides of the world, and irrespective in what kind of an organization you go, be it a startup or a mid-sized organization, to all the way to highly established OEMs like the ones mentioned on the slide, will give you a thorough view of how exactly the sales methodologies across all these organizations work and what are the nuances associated, which you should be equipped with when you apply for jobs in these nature of organizations. All right, moving on. Let's get the fundamentals in place. I think most of you would already know what SaaS is. SaaS basically stands for software as a service, and it is basically a specific process of selling where cloud-based softwares are sold to customers, prospective customers, in a subscription model. That subscription model could be pretty intuitive as well, and depending on how the customer want their cash flows and outflows to be structured. It can be a monthly subscription model. It can be an annual. It could be long-term contracts as well, right? What are the benefits? Obviously, it's a shift of customer priorities. We have seen a lot of organizations moving away from uh, uh, large capex investments to fewer opex investments. That helps them be more agile, be more conducive in the VUCA world that we live in. And that's one of the primary reasons why a significant part of the modern software industry is now moving to software as a service sales rather than the erstwhile capex based or capex oriented models, right? So as the last pointer on the slide suggests, a significant part of our software industry is focused on customer retention, is focused on upselling, and um, software as a service sales is one of the key models under which most of the sellers in today's industry work. Moving on, I think if you were to go back a few decades, um, let's understand how exactly software sales has behaved in the past few decades. The early days were, essentially the ones where we developed in-house um, softwares. Those were heavy bulk mainframe solutions organizations used to build internally, specific for their organizations. Some of our legacy organizations, especially in the BFSI sector, still does so, but most of them have now transitioned. And when they transitioned a few decades back, uh, there was an on-prem era, right? What did on-prem era exactly stand for? Um, Customers would buy or set up data centers in their own organizations. They would buy servers. They would do heavy capex investments, and they would buy softwares from OEMs like Microsoft, Adobe, Oracle, SAP, so on and so forth. And these licenses would be hosted within the infrastructure, the on-prem infrastructure of the enterprises they had invested in. And buying those on-prem licenses would give perpetuity to these organizations to use the software in a compliant format. Now, from on-prem era, there was a shift in the way softwares were sold. In fact, both the models coexisted for a very long time, which is where software maintenance and support came into picture, right? So irrespective where exactly the solutions and the softwares were getting deployed, um, and eventually when they started becoming complex, a lot of vendors started offering maintenance contracts, giving access to updates, bug fixes, security fixes, and technical assistance. Once this was done, began the value added resellers era. As you know, every organization can't build software for themselves, right? Especially when the needs and requirements go complex and the organization grows, there has to be a third party agency which would step in. And those third party agencies here are referred to value added resellers. So these resellers would step in and they would offer customizations, integration, trainings. They would also offer software maintenance and support as well. And that's how, for a very long time, the entire software um, business model worked for a couple of decades altogether. Uh, but as we speak right now, we see more and more cloud-based solutions. In fact, most of the new solutions which, sorry, if I think Anjali, okay, I'll put her on mute. Okay. Yeah, as I was referring, so most of our solutions nowadays, which are developed, are cloud native solutions. And it is because of these cloud native solutions, we have an emergence of software as a service, also termed as SaaS. I think the slide is self-explanatory. All of you in some shape and form might have used these services in the past. Salesforce is, one of the largest and the most prominent CRM solutions. So is HubSpot. Uh, we are doing this conference on Zoom, which is again software as a service. We watch Netflix, we watch Amazon Prime, and these are some of the largest software as a service solutions which we use day in and day out. Okay, I think a lot of you might have a question here on the call that, okay, all of this is great, but how does this gel in my future aspirations? Which is where we need to be circumspect of what the future of software as a service holds for us. Um, this is already a predominant way of selling when it comes to software sales. On-prem sales are slowly and gradually depleting. Apart from very specific segments which are highly regulated or are defense related, most of the enterprises are now switching to software as a service solutions. And the growing demand and the growing adoption of these solutions is the reason why, from a period from 2023 to 2032, we are expecting a compounded annual growth rate of approximately 14%, which roughly translates a growth from roughly 350 billion US dollars to all the way to somewhere around $1,000 billion in 2032. And when that happens, obviously the industry would require professionals who are proficient in software as a service sales, who know how exactly the methodologies of sales associated with software as a service would work, who are hands-on, who understand technology, and who have a knack of closing deals when it comes to customer acquisition and growth. So with that, I'll pass it on to Parth, who will touch more on some of the aspects that I spoke of, and delve deep into how exactly the sales cycle work. What are the prominent sales methodologies? Post which, we'll break into Q&As. Parth, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Aditya. Very well presented. So you all are students here, right? Like most of you are. So the next step for you is not to become a sales professional, right? Next job for you would be to crack those interviews, right? And you would be facing those challenging questions that will come across in a way where you would either break it, crack it, or you will fail it. So we would want you to succeed, and that's how we want you to give a very deep understanding of what is SaaS and how we distinguish a great salesperson to how an average salesperson leads, right? Selling is a day-to-day job. We do sell ourselves in so many ways, right? So knowing exactly what are the efficiencies and proficiencies you have to bring on the table, we'll discuss that. So Aditya discussed about the foundation of SaaS sales, introduction to SaaS sales, what is the growth rate of SaaS, what is the future looking for SaaS, right? And what are the applications that you use in and day out, and you know that you are using a SaaS application, right? So I'll help you understand how to apply sales methodologies. So when you will be coming across the interviewers, right, they would be asking you that how you will reach an account. Like they will be asking you that what your journey would look like. They will be asking you questions regarding that how you would sell or how you would be able to create those kinds of value that will give you money. So before I start, I want to tell you something very important, right? Whenever you would come across sales as a word, you will come across 5 obstacles. Remember them, okay? First is there is no need. You will never be needed. The second is that there will be no money. Whatever you want to sell, even a diamond on the table, there will be no money. There will be no hurry. Like there would be nobody who would be coming and telling you that I want this, or can you give me this? So that's never gonna happen. Then there will be no desire. Nobody would be having any sort of desire to purchase anything from you. And that's the hardcore truth. And the most important obstacle that you would be facing day in and day out is that there is no trust. So all these 5 obstacles you need to, cross to be a successful salesperson, whether it's a SaaS given role, whether it's an IAS role, or whether it's a past sales roles. So when I was experiencing sales, I started with an inbound sales. Like when you get a call from the customer and he tells you that I want to buy it. But again, he will not buy it straightforward. He will be calling 5 more different competitors, right? He will be calling 5 more companies, and he will understand where I would be paying the least so that I can buy this product. So it's up to you that how you would be able to create those values. Can you go on to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay. So while I'm speaking about value, so like I told you that whenever you would be hearing about sales, you will always be hearing about value proposition. That means what is that you have that nobody else has. So when you try to, pick a sports or pick your life partner, you always think about something, right? That this is something that I want. This is something that gives me excitement. This is something that I can live with. That's exactly what softwares are all about. They are here to fix your day-to-day business challenges and needs. Once you understand what is your business need, accordingly, you will choose the enterprise software. As soon as you will choose the enterprise software, you will see that there are 10 more softwares that will give you the same advantage. Someone with some less features, someone with some extra money, someone with a lengthy sales cycle, someone with less customer satisfaction. So all of these are surrounded by values. So what you do whenever you go on an interview call and you are asked about the journey, like what will be your journey? First thing is that you need to create a value, right? Like as soon as you know that X person wants this, then you would be creating that kind of value so that he can understand that this is something that will fulfill my need. So as soon as you do it, you create a promise with the customer that this is your problem and this is the solution that I have. So as soon as you will tell him that this is the solution, there is a return on investment that's get into the picture, right? Like as soon as you know that this is something that will be fulfilled, then if this is fulfilled, this is the X amount of revenue that I will generate. So as soon as you know that this is the revenue that I will generate, like $100,000, what is this $100,000? This is the return on investment on the value that was created by that salesperson to give you what you need. Now, when you know that this is what I need, after 2 months, you think that no, this is not something that I needed. There is something else that I need, or there is an upgrade to this that I want. This is the movie, like let's go about the Netflix subscription. You want to watch a movie, that movie is not free. That movie is something that you would be able to see only when you will pay them. So as soon as you paid them, you understand that this movie is in the ultra premium category. That means you have to pay more to see that movie. So the relationship is not built because you were able to showcase the movie, but the movie was absolutely not seen. So there the relationship is growing. Like you can grow that customer relationship only when you can give a return on investment. That can be a satisfaction, that can be a multiplier in their money, that can be an increase in their employees, that can be an increase in their productivity. All of these 5-6 benefits is exactly where the world is revolving around. So it's not something which is very tough, but this is something where you will never be perfect. So what you have to take care of is progression. That means every day you are progressing. As soon as you will start progressing, like if you will start with the evaluation of sales today, what is the evaluation of sales? What is SaaS? This is the building stones, right? But as soon as you will progress on it and understand more into it, like when we'll deep dive into it, we'll give you 1,000 more examples, then you will understand that what is the ecosystem of a SaaS sales. Now, when the value is being delivered, the promise has been taken care of, it creates a value which is a process. That means year after year after year, there will be new movies that will be coming up. Netflix will be putting them into their whole software, and you will be able to see that movie year after year. Every year you will be renewing their subscription. Every year you would be paying more to them. And that's exactly what it is called a SaaS sales process. That means in the SaaS sales process, you will be able to get a job not only in new business development, you can get a job before new business development as well, which is called a business development manager, which is called BDC. What is a BDC? BDC will tell you that this is the client who is interested. Now, when you will become a new business development manager, you will be able to take the leads of the business development consultant and nurture them to bring revenue to your organization. That will be your first closure. That means it's a net new to your business. As soon as you get a net new to the business, you can get another job in sales, which is called customer success management. Now, what this customer success management manager does, it will help the company to go on the right side of the slide. You can see the left side, that is value creation and promise. This is done by the net new acquisition, like the enterprise sales manager or the territory sales managers who are bringing new business revenue. When you go to the right side of the presentation, it says prove and value renewal. That means year after year after year after year, you will be able to help your customers renew the product. And that's called customer success management. So there are different facets of sales. When I talk about the new business, in new business also, you can get a job not only in the like inside sales, you can do field sales, you can do expansions. All of these are different facets of sales. When you will be applying for jobs, you will see that there are companies who are specifically asking for inside sales or inbound sales. That means the customer will be calling you. You will be picking up the call and you will be helping the customer. This is not a customer call. These are beautifully driven transactional sales processes, which will help you earn a lot of incentives. So never think inbound sales is equals to customer care. It's not. There is a lot of delivery that can be done over the phone, and that's how the world is progressing. A small cold email can give you $1 million deal, which we'll talk about later. Now, can you move to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay, so when I'll talk about the net new business, there is a inbound sales, there is outbound sales as well, where you prospect the customer by yourself. You do an email, like a cold email. You see the email address of the customer, you send him an email. Every day in and day out, when you'll go to your Gmail, you go to your promotion sections, you will see a lot of emails coming in your Gmail. Probably most of them you do not read because you think they will not be adding value. When you'll go to the Instagram and when you'll keep scrolling reels, you will see so many companies coming up with advertisements. What are these? These are prospecting. These are outbound people who understands that what is your algorithm running and what kinds of products you would be interested in. This is not something where you are selling. Like supposingly they'll give you an option that you can just put your credit card details and buy it. That's called a straight sale. That means that you don't have to do anything. Your web engagements, your internet engagement of the company is helping you do it. So that's exactly where it's a sale without a salesman. But then would they not need salesmen? They will need salesmen. They will need salesmen when the product is about to mature. They will need salesmen when there is an adoption needed. Like supposingly I'll take a product which I know how to which I do not know how to use, or I'm troubleshooting the product. Who will be able to help me? It can be a customer success manager who would be able to not only help you but sell you more features. That's all. That all happens in the value system or the ecosystem of your sales. That means there are different types of jobs. You can do strategic management, you can do net new acquisition, you can do enterprise sales, you can do transactional sales. All of these combines are different sales personas where you would be able to successfully build your career. Now, when you will be building your career, and when I said it, it's not as easy as it's said and done. Like I said, sales are contingent upon the attitude of the salesman. That means, what is your attitude? Do you have it in you to sell it? Like this is exactly because there a lot of people talk about sales pressures. A lot of people talk about budgetings. A lot of people talk about not able to do a sale. It's not something to do with the prospect. Trust me, it's never about the attitude of the prospect. It is about you keeping an eye on that price. What is the price? Price is making sure that the dotted lines are filled with the signature, that this is product is being sold. And that's when you become a successful salesperson. There is a lot of things that needs to be done after that as well, which we'll understand in these sales methodologies. Now, when you'll go to the interview rounds, there is 100% question that you would be asked in your sales interview, that what do you think are the sales methodologies that can be applied to our given product? And it's not difficult to understand. It's very easy to understand. You just have to apply it. As soon as you will give a bang on answer and you can show him the impact of this sales methodology. What is a sales methodology? It's a big word, but if you'll break it down, what is it? Everybody is run by values. Like I have some values, Aditya has some values, and everybody on this call has some sort of values. Just like that, every sales process also is guided by principles. What are these principles? These are best practices. That means that you can tackle every part of the sales process. Say, like I told you about the 5 obstacles, no need. That means there is no budget. Then there is no time, no hurry. That means there is no timeliness. That means he doesn't know when he wants to buy it. So this is called banned. There is no need. That means you are not in the stage where you are able to create a need. And then there is approvers. So that means he is the person who wants to buy it. Like I want to buy a Mercedes. My father says that you are okay with a Volvo. So he is not ready to or willing to give me more 20 lakhs because he does not understand the value of a Mercedes, or probably I do not understand the affordability or the expensiveness of that car. So one of us is wrong, right? Exactly this will happen in your sales career. Every time you would see that there are objections that are coming up and you need to handle those objections in the most beautiful way possible. That is where you would be able to satisfy your customers, prospects, leads, and then convert into winning opportunities. And that's exactly what your role would be. But in this role, you would be able to bring home thousands and lakhs of rupees, like if we'll talk about the Indian currency. But then if you will be working for geographies like USA, you will be able to do dollar value sales. If you are working for Europe, you will be doing sales in euros. So it's a fantastic, like the kick of this job. Once you understand the nuances of the sales, you will love it day in and day out. Can you move to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay, so this is something which is, we are going a little deeper on the very first call, but I'll not take you inside it. But what I'm trying to explain you here is that there are 7 different methodologies that you can use in SaaS. Like you can do MEDDIC. MEDDIC is a very, very wonderful, sales methodology where you understand that if my customer will buy this, he will be able to reduce the employee turnover by 40%. Or if my customer will buy this, he will be able to increase the 40% efficiency in his distribution channel. So you know that my product will be able to create an economic impact. That means, like, supposingly, I'll give you an example. Okay, there are 80 or 90 enterprise applications that you are running. Now, in these 80 to 90 enterprise applications, you want that you should have the maximum efficiency. There is a new industry segment which is called digital adoption. Now, what this digital adoption does, it sits on the top of all your enterprise applications and help your employees have a strong understanding of all the enterprise products. What are you doing here? You are increasing the efficiency of your employees. So this is called an economic impact. That is written in the first matrix, like M. Matrix, that means economic impact. Economic buyer, that means who is the decision maker? I'm going to tell you 1,000 things here. Like if supposingly I've come from Teachnook, and if Teachnook is not satisfied with what I'm saying, then it's of no use, right? Because I do not know that who is the financial decision maker. So you would have to know that is that person an influencer? Is that person a buyer? Is that person someone who is just taking a decision? All of that you need to understand in the economic buyer. And these are the things which are called checkpoints. If you will not go through these checkpoints, you will never be able to complete the journey. So the end-to-end sales cycle management process, this will be your one distinguished advantage. You will be able to do end-to-end sales cycle management. Once you will understand the theories of it, and then when you will start prospecting, when you will have your first customers on the table, you will understand these journeys as well. These journeys has pros, these journeys has cons, but the end is always good. Like you would be able, so if there are 1,000 like prospects that you have, out of these 1,000, 200 will become your opportunity. Out of these 200, 100 will become your qualified opportunity. Out of this 100, there will be 50 who will become your perfect closure. That means they will buy the product. Out of those 50 also, you would see 20 skipping it. At the end, after the promises are made, they are moving to the competitor, or they are having budget challenges, or they are having decision-making challenges, or they are prolonging the sales cycle. But then the 30 will come home, and those 30 will be your win. So that's the beauty of sales. If you will prospect, you will always be winning. And that's why I said you will never be perfect in sales. You cannot be perfect in sales. Every customer will come up with its own problems, with its own solutions, with its own thought processes. You have to mold those customers in understanding what is the value that you are going to deliver. As soon as you understand the value that you are going to deliver, you will be able to create a path which will be of revenue growth. And that's exactly what you need to do in a sales process. Decision criteria. Who is the criteria? Like who is the decision maker? A technical decision maker, a financial decision maker, a vendor decision maker? Is he a third party application owner? All of these comes in decision criteria. Then there is decision process. Identify pain and become a champion. How will you become a champion? Who will sell or act on your behalf? That means that are you the person who will be guiding the customer through to the endpoints, or you would be not? Just like that, like this MEDDIC was explained to you, all the 7 techniques talk about the same things. Like there will be an economic impact, there will be a positive or a negative change that you would be bringing to that organization. Either you would be increasing their efficiencies or productivities, or you would be decreasing them. Spin. Spin is what? Spin is understanding the situation, that where is the customer, like he's seeking problems or having problems. Is he having problems with compliance challenges? Is he having problems with regulatory frameworks? All of this you would be able to understand when you understand the situation of the customer. How will you understand the situation of the customer? When you will go on the call, you will ask him that what are your challenges in the next 2 years? Every person is having challenges and every person has some KRAs to conquer those challenges. Your job is to understand those challenges, fit it into your product and sell it. That's exactly what you do. Once you understand the situation of the person, you understand the problem. Like when you go and talk to your friends or your parents, anybody, they are always in some sort of a situation. That doesn't mean they're always in a problem, right? There can be a positive situation, there can be a negative situation, but they are influxed in a situation. Then you understand, oh, he is in problem. What should I do? Or what are the implications of these problems? Are these problems gonna, create more hindrances for this person in the future? They're just like that. A company also thinks about the same things, and that's when they buy those products. Now, when I wanted to understand, so if when the COVID happened, nobody could actually speak face to face. Nobody could do those face to face rounds. Everybody wanted a medium from where they can connect and talk to each other in the same way they're talking face to face. So the implication was well understood that if the people will stop talking to each other, the processes will fail. Everything the government is doing for the country, everything the company is doing for their employees, and whatever the employees are expected to do for the company, everything was coming to a small drop, which would actually fade into the sea. But what actually happened? Zoom came in, Google Meet came in, Microsoft Teams came in. These are all subscription-based models. They let you enjoy the convenience that we are enjoying right now. And this is called a need payoff. That means whatever the need was, they were able to pay it off. That means they were able to sign you in to something that will help you create those kinds of values in the future. So they created a value, they pass it on to you to create the value. And then when you are further creating the value, what is the end goal that everybody is achieving? Everybody is earning money. Everybody is having the revenue growth. Everybody is increasing their market share. All of these are the part of the same ecosystems which are revolving in different ways. You have to understand which business will be most suited for which kind of sales methodology. Can you go to the next slide? So just like that, there is a beautiful sales methodology, which is called the command of the sale. That means you know that this is something that you will be able to sell because you have a unique selling proposition. I'll give you a very simple example. Salesforce. Salesforce become the best CRM tool because business knew that when we have millions of prospects coming in, so many, further going down into the funnel into qualified opportunities, there are thousands of names that they have to put in. There are feedbacks. There is business intelligence that needs to be done. That's when Salesforce become the market leader. And when they became the market leader, they knew that everybody is going to buy us. So the person who will come to sell Salesforce will not be selling it actually. He will be letting you know that why do you need it? Or he will be giving you or throwing 1,000 questions on you, which will, make you feel demeaned or make you feel so less that you want to buy it. Because sometimes what happens is once you see a Mercedes showroom or an Audi showroom and you go to see a Nexa showroom, there is a lot of difference, right? So when you go to the Mercedes showroom, they don't need to sell it to you because they know that if you have that kind of money, you would buy it. And then you would not go for something which is mediocre or average in terms of what Mercedes or Audi is. So this is called command of the sale. Step into a Mercedes or an Audi showroom and step into a Nexa showroom. Nexa person will come to your gate, like he will come to the showroom gate because he know that the customer has come to me. Mercedes person or the Audi person would sit right there. He will see you seeing a 5 different, varieties of Mercedes. And from your body language, he will come to know that you want to buy it or you don't want to buy it. As soon as he will know that you want to buy it, he will tell you exactly why you should buy it. He'll tell you what's the speed like, what's the suspension like, so many good things about a car which he can tell you. But who will be commanding that sale? You will never be commanding that sale. It's the Mercedes person who will be commanding the sale. Similarly, whatever you are selling, like you come across 1,000 companies where you will be interviewed, and whatever you will be selling, in your features, there will be one unique feature which you would know that this feature is something which will beat my competitor. And that's exactly when you want to have the command of the sale. That means you become the most interesting person in the room. You sell that cutting edge technology by letting the person know that what sort of boundaries it can push. And then you can become a counselor or a mentor while selling all these SaaS models. So this is a beautiful, beautiful sale technique when it comes to transactional selling. When you know that the customer is in the company is in the position to sell. When you know the company is already selling the product on a very increased volume in a very less time. That's when you become the command of the sales representative. The next one is solution selling. Solution selling is when you have the toughest of the products in hand. That means I know that I want to use a solar system or a solar energy gainer, but then you don't have any idea how to install it, how to use it, how do you use the applications towards it. So there are so many things which you do not know, but you know that you want to use it because you don't want to pay for your electricity. That's where solution selling comes in, where you create the value by letting the other person know that I will be able to add this value by helping you understand that means I will gain the access to understand your problems, and then I'll become your customer champion. Customer champions are those people who do not sell the product for money. They sell the product for relationship management, because they know that once a product is sold, it will be sold 1,000 times more. That means it is called upsell. So when the net new comes in, it is a net new for the business. When the net new is there and you are selling to an existing customer, you are doing an upsell. That means you are selling the same product. What if your company has 10 more products and the customer has bought one product? Then the 9 products that will be sold, it is called cross sell. That means you are selling it cross, and you are selling the all the verticals of a different product line. So that is where you would be able to do solution selling only when you will be able to understand the problem of the customer. That means what is his first obstacle? Would I be able to deliver on it? And these solution sellers deliver the product on a very authentic and a very confident demo. That means there will be demos in the place, like wherever you are, whatever solution selling you are doing, you cannot do it by just speaking to the customer. You have to showcase that how you would be able to fix his problems. He will be coming across 1,000 problems within that application, and if you can build the trust, like you compound on the confidence of the customer. That means he says yes, that I understood this, then you move to the next and to the next and to the next. That's what solution seller does. And that's how you become solution consultants. These are very high paying jobs, but then it takes a lot of experience to become a solution seller. Next one, please. The Sandler submarines. He is the most famous person in sales. Like the frameworks that he has created. He has created a very simple framework, but the training that he has provided, it's a kind of tactic which build beautiful customer ties. I have applied in my sales career 1,000 times that particular sales cycle, and this Sandler submarine will work 3 out of 10 times as compared to any other sales methodology, which will probably work 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. There is a bonding and rapport. That means you do the ice break. That means you don't go to the problem of the customer. You don't go to the software. You don't go and just sell it. You just can't do it. When you come to the call, you have to do a bonding and a rapport. That means you have to break the ice. Breaking the ice will be a prerequisite to all your interviews. Whenever you would be sitting in the interview, you can create an atmosphere of confidence by building a bonding and a rapport. You can ask simple questions. How was your day? You can ask questions like, how is the experience so far? So these are the small questions where you would let the other person speak. That means you would be able to bring him upfront with yourself. As soon as you would be able to do it upfront, like you would be able to help him understand that why you are here, then he will speak about your pain. When you go to a doctor, the doctor straight away asks you, what is your problem? The doctor try to understand that where are you coming from, in the sense that what is the actual problem that you are having, how many days you have been facing these problems, do you have any allergies, any medical history. So all of this the doctor wants to know so that he can give you a proper subscription, like proper prescription to the problem, right? And then you understand that if I would be able to, give him all the pain points, then you want to know that does he has the money or he's just talking about his pain points, because 90% of the people talk about pain, but there are just 10 people who can really afford it. Like if there is a pain and if there is a solution, only 10 people would be able to afford it. Then if they are able to afford it, there is a decision that needs to be taken, right? He will look at 9 more products like yours, which will be coming in lesser price, but then he might be thinking about what extra do you have. Then comes the unique selling proposition. So there can be a mix of sales methodologies that can be worked around in a simple sales cycle. That can be something that you need to understand. As soon as the decision is made, you don't stop there. You need to fulfill that decision. Every promise you keep in the sales will compound into more revenue. This is a written Bible that you should always keep it in your head. Every customer that you have sold will come back. If he'll not come back to you, he'll come back to the customer success management. If he'll not come back to the customer success management, he'll go to the customer support. So never ever do a back pocket sale. Whenever you would start working in any organization, never do a back pocket sale. It will hurt you, it will bite you, and it will replenish the kind of repo that you would be able to create internal organization and to the external to the organization. So all of these things needs to be understandable. So the next one is called snap selling. Like I've told you about so many things and I've a little bit made it complicated for you to understand. Oh, there's so much to understand. No, snap selling. If you don't know anything, remember snap selling. Keep it simple. Like everybody has a complicated head. Whosoever it is, like if I'll come with an adjective for myself, I'll say I am a very simple person. But in my head, I will never be that simple person. Same goes to Aditya and same goes to everybody who's sitting here. Everybody is dealing with 1,000 problems in a day. In those 1,000 problems, you have to make sure his business problems look small. And how can you make things look small? By making it look easy, making it look simple. Oh, this can be done so easily. Let me help you. I'll take 30 days and make sure it is fixed. As soon as you will say things like, I'll help you. Do you need my help? It will create an impression of not a salesperson, but a person who is here as a consultant and who will be able to help me get out of this problem. Now, as soon as you told him that I can keep it simple and he knows that you can keep it simple, you have to put the cherry on the cake. How do you put the cherry on the cake? By becoming invaluable. That means, again, see, all sales methodologies are same. You can go back to the same value proposition that you gave there, like the best value proposition that you have, the best feature that has the best benefit. And if you know that benefit is tied to his particular organization, just keep it there and you will become invaluable for that customer, because the customer would know that he can solve it for me. He knows exactly. As soon as you know that I will be able to solve it for the customer, you need to check his pockets. Don't forget that whenever you are doing your hard work, check the pockets of the customer. That means, can he pay you for that? That he can pay you, obviously, but he can pay your organization or not. Like whatever the price they are fixed, he needs to be paying that, right? So objectives and needs need to have an economic impact for you and your organization as well. As soon as it is all done, you have told him 1,000 problems and you have created 1,000 solutions for the customer. What is the last thing that you would need from that customer? You would need the priorities. That means, I want to sell it today. What do you want me to work on? After 1 month, if he satisfies with the first solution, go to the second, then go to the third. Build a small deal size into $1 million deal size by adopting snap selling, which is make it simple, talk simple questions, talk about the challenges they are facing, talk about the objectives they have. These are simple things and they will answer you. Talk about the benefits that you can provide. Talk about your journey. Talk about what is your customer saying, what are your competitors saying, how you are distinguishable than your competitor. Keep it in a simple English language. Don't try to flaunt. Let the customer speak. All of these small things will cater to a wonderful sales methodology, which you would be able to do in a repeatable manner, which will bring you repeatable customers and at the end, you would have a successful sales career. That's all. I think the next one is questions and answers. No, there's gap selling methodology as well. So I'll just quickly wrap it up. It will not take more than 10 minutes or 5 minutes. This is an important selling methodology. Now you know that there is something that needs to be done, right? But then there is an effort that is equally required. Now, this effort and the time to close, say there is 6 months to close, like he's saying that I'll buy it in 6 months, and there is a 6 months of efforts you need to put in. You need to, but he's saying yes, he's saying that I'll buy your product. So I'll give you a very quick example. Practo, the best doctor wants to digitalize his practice. You have a practice management solution in your hand. What he is saying is that I will be able to do it, but I will be able to do it in parts. That means first I will make sure my receptionist is digitalized. Second is that I will make sure that my mobile application is working fine and I know how to use it. Third thing he wants to know is how to put all your medical reports in the electronic medical records. All, and then fourth, he wants to understand that how his clinic runs. These are the gaps. That means he's telling you that he will be able to pay you, but what are those gaps that you need to fulfill? So all the pits, when you make a road, you like a highway is created, there are pits in that, right? All those pits needs to be fulfilled. Like they have to be fully dealt with, so that those gaps are fulfilled and there is a smooth road. So this is what gap selling methodology does. What it does is it takes the yeses and distribute it into small yeses. That means 1 yes, 2 yes, 3 yes, 4 yes. And then once all the gaps are fulfilled, you will see the end result is that you will get the signature of the customer. That is, he's signing on your deal. He's satisfied with your product. This gap selling methodology helps you in proof of concepts. That means wherever the customer will say, give me an example, or show me how it needs to be done, or show me how it will look like, then this gap selling methodology works. You go to this doctor, you just digitalize his receptionist area. Like she is doing everything on the paper and pen, right? Like let her know that how to do it on the practice management software. As soon as it is done, the doctor will be gone. Like doctor will know that this is something that I need. And there you will have the win. As soon as you will win the receptionist, you will win the doctor. This is exactly what the kind of successes I had in Practo. And there are so many different organizations which we can discuss in the later sessions whenever we'll get a chance. That's it, I think. Can we move to the next slide?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Q&A is Parth.
Yeah, we'll just leave it to them.
Absolutely. But to everyone on the call, both Parth and myself used a lot of jargons, a lot of we talked about a lot of techniques. So all of this will be sort of curated in a much more structured manner as we take you through the curriculum. And what we will also ensure is there are live stories. There are stories that we have experienced. There are stories that we've heard from our peers in the industry. We relate these techniques with what exactly happens on the field and what are the success stories we have driven out of those. So don't be inundated with, there are a lot of methodologies. How will I learn all of those? You don't need to learn all of those. You should just be aware of those so that you can pick and choose the ones which are relevant to the kind of customer you are dealing with. So with that, I open it to the house. Happy to answer and take queries if any. Please don't shy. No question is a stupid question. Both Parth and myself, despite being in the industry for almost a decade, we were students such as yours, such as you are. We've all of us have gone through the same cycle. So please do ask away, even if it is a very fundamental question. Anyone, guys? All right. we have no queries. Yash, if you could just help the audience with the next steps associated, I think we can then wrap up the call.
Yeah, just 2 minutes, Aditya. We'll do that.
All right, no worries. Do we have something on the chat?
Students, in case you have any doubts, the session was amazing. I'm sure you might have liked it. So, in case you have any sort of questions, any sort of doubt regarding SaaS, regarding sales, regarding B2B, so we have our mentors with us. We have Parth, we have Aditya. So, feel free to ask anything. In case you are in case you are feeling shy in asking by audio, so you can just drop a message on the chat itself. That works too. Anyone, Ayush, Deepak, Lipika. Okay, fine then. I guess. Okay, yes, Deepak has a question. So I think Deepak is asking what are the basic skills that are required as a business development manager. So
Parth, you
Aditya,
want to take?
okay, fine.
So business development, you want to answer, Aditya?
So please, I'll chip in.
Yeah, so business development manager, I think, are the starting steps of becoming an efficient sales manager, like doing direct sales. So for a business development manager, I think research and prospecting would be a key skill. You should know that how to do different types of searches. Like you should be good at LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You should be good at Zoom Info. You should use discovery.org. These also have demo versions of them. So you should see a business development manager should definitely know that what will be the key personas. That means where exactly he needs to reach out. He is a person who comes before the actual salesperson reaches out to the account. That means he is the first person who will be sending an email to your accounts. So these business development managers, they have leads. Like these are the persons who are interested. Or when he do a search, when he do his secondary search, he see it on these kinds of websites like Sales Navigator, that what is the company looking for, and is my product best suited here. So a business development manager has to be analytical. That means he needs to understand the nuances of exactly what needs to be done. Secondly, he should be very good at keeping the points. Like when he'll go on the calls with the salesperson, his job is to identify the minutes of the meetings that will help you get a follow-up call. That means you can only get a follow-up call when you understand the first call. And there, the business development manager also plays a very good role when he aligns himself with the sales manager. So, as a business development manager, you have to have a good daily cadence. That means you should be disciplined in your daily cadence, doing those 50-60 reach outs that you do every day, or sending those emails as a part of your daily systematic discipline. That I think is business development manager prerequisite. Then I think one more important thing that you would need as a business development manager is to understand different CRM tools, because their job is to create opportunities. So whichever CRM tool you are working with, you should be very efficient in that particular CRM tool, because that tells you the story, not only you, but that also will give you the credits when the sale's been completed, because your organization will know that how the deal was fostered or how the opportunity was fostered. And there you, if you are efficient in CRM, you will be able to, you know, mark that particular deal as an achievement in front of your name.
Thank you so much, Parth. I hope that has answered your question. So we have one more question from Dhanpal. Dhanpal, correct me if I'm not wrong, but your question is, sir, if you want to sell products, which is not that important, but still I want to sell it because I am a good manufacturer. So how to sell that product from home at low cost? And he wants to get insight on me. I think his question is like he's manufacturing a product, so maybe that might not be that important to society, but still he wants to sell it. Like how to sell anything. His question is how to sell anything.
Yeah, I'll add a few thoughts to it, and Parth, feel free to chime in. See, whenever a product gets out in the market, right, it is not out in the market just because somebody had a hunch around it and they simply went ahead and launched that product. It could be software product or something which is more tangible as well. Behind the launch of every successful product, there is a very well-defined market research which is done. There is a product fitment that eventually gets established. Uh, you know, uh, the founding team also needs to understand what is the market share of this product and who would be the ideal audience for a product like that, for a product they are willing to put forth out in the market. So if these key parameters are in place, one goes out in the market and launches the product. Uh, Now coming to the question, I'm with a lot of assumptions in place. If I were to answer your question, um, it seems that some of these parameters have been established. Uh, the product that you are rolling out in the market is very niche. You don't know if there would be a lot of prospecting buyers, which essentially means that it could be a product of niche but of high value as well. And if it is such product, my uh, basic advice would be understand whom do you want to sell, right? And if you have understood your audience, the rest of the sales techniques, marketing outreach would be the subsequent steps to reaching out to the right audience to sort of make a sale. Once these fundamentals are in place, I think sales methodologies, sales techniques, marketing outreach, do we need to do a over the top marketing? Do we need to have field executives doing the marketing and sales for us? Do we need to do digital campaigns, or will establish more brick and mortar arrangements for our customers to buy a product? All of these are subsequent steps to having some of these foundational understandings in place. So if those are in place, I think you're good. It doesn't matter if your product is made for a very niche audience. Doesn't matter if it is a high value chain product. Yeah, so that's my thoughts around it. Parth, you want to add anything?
Yeah, if you want to sell anything, like the question is, you can do it once if you have the confidence.
Yeah.
Second time you will be stuck. Like there is a persistence that you will need to do it again and again. Like you can do it once if you have the confidence, you can sell Taj Mahal, right? But if you want to go one step ahead and you want to sell the seven wonders of the world, you would have to tell the world that why you sold Taj Mahal, right? So there has to be some backing to it. There has to be some sort of niche or something that you are fulfilling for somebody in this world. Only then there is a sell that is possible. Otherwise, the confidence has always been, help people fly high. So you can fly high, but I think the journey downwards would be as faster as going up. So have that kind of persistence and understanding what sort of, like Aditya said, what sort of buyers you have. As soon as you know the buyers, everything comes next.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks, Parth.
yeah, hi. So I think the doubts have been cleared for you guys. So first of all, thank you, Aditya and Parth, for the great session. I hope the learners will definitely enjoy the same. So the main agenda for this webinar is basically that Teachnook has now been introducing our SaaS Academy out here. So if you see Aditya and Parth, they are one of our industry experts who will be taking up this particular session. You can see the level of expertise that they'll be coming in, and that expertise definitely will be helping you guys to excel in the field that you'll be venturing it out. So giving you a gist of what exactly the program is, it's of a 4-month program that Teachnook SaaS Academy is offering you guys. So the first 3 months is where we train you guys completely with our industry experts. Like we have onboarded Aditya, we have onboarded Parth, like that we have onboarded some of the senior directors at Microsoft, Oracle, and a lot more. So every month you guys interact with a lot of experts coming in here. And post completion of this 3 months training, every person of you is gonna get a guaranteed internship in some other companies such as InstaMojo, Cashtree, Razorpay, and that is guaranteed internship. You guys know how difficult it is to get an internship in some other SaaS companies out there. So that is exactly what Teachnook SaaS Academy is helping you guys to resolve it here. Like we are providing a direct bridge here to get into some of the best. And post completion, since you have already got expertise in working in some of the best companies, I think there will be a plethora of opportunities for you guys where you guys can get placed as well. So we'll be sharing you guys a form over the chat itself. So you guys are free to fill up the particular form. Once you fill it up, you guys can expect a call in the next 2-3 hours where our experts will be calling you guys up. And any doubts you guys have, it is a complete free consultation where we'll be able to completely assist you up. We'll be in giving a complete details of who is the person who is monitoring you, what exactly you guys will be learning it up. So that is from our side.
Right. Thanks, Ritvik. Thanks for arranging this session, and thanks, Parth, for being the partner in crime.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you, Aditya.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Have a nice evening.
All right, guys, bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Guys, the form is in the chat box. So you guys are free to fill up the form.
Okay, so thank you so much, students. We are done with the webinar now. Before leaving, do not forget to fill the form. You'll get a one-to-one call from our experts at SaaS Academy, and you can clear any of your doubts. If you couldn't clear it here, you can talk to the experts directly, and you can get your doubts cleared. The form is there in the chat box, and we'll be sending it to you personally as well on your WhatsApp. So yeah, fine. That's all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys have found this session insightful. And yeah.